YouTube, what the heck is up? It's your boy XP Slayer, and in today's video we're going to be teaching you how to edit your TikTok videos like a pro on your computer. So starting off here, all my work is done in either Premiere Pro or Adobe After Effects. The workflow between the two is pretty similar, so I'm going to go ahead and showcase the Premiere Pro way. If this video gets enough love and everyone really wants to see an After Effects tutorial, I will be glad to throw one of those up as well, just to be able to walk you through those steps. Now I know that for most people Adobe is pretty expensive, but there are other ways to get it. If you're picking up what I'm putting down here, it's pretty thick, wink wink. Personally, I use both when I'm editing TikToks, but it's not really the right workflow, so I'm going to go ahead and give you the step-by-step Premiere Pro workflow, and it should work just fine without having to ever use After Effects or vice versa. So step one, with Premiere Pro open, you're going to go ahead and open up a new project. I have one right here that is brand new. Step two, you're going to find your clip, bring it into your media folder, drag that onto your timeline to create your sequence. As you see, it is in horizontal format, which will not go the best on TikTok. So we're going to go ahead, go to our sequence settings, change that. We're going to take our horizontal, take that to 1080, take our vertical right into 1920, hit OK. It's going to ask you if it is okay to change all your preview files, hit OK. So now we are left with our base clip as well as some blank space on the top and bottom. So what we're going to do with our base clip is we are going to take it, we're going to scale it up to fill in all that space. About 190 usually does the trick. And then we're going to go down to our effects, take our Gaussian blur, GAU, that will pull up your Gaussian for you. Drag that onto your clip. Turn your blurriness. I usually go about 30 to 40, depending on what it is. Right here, about 34 looks good for us. So now this is your base. This will be your background for your video. Your next step is you're going to go ahead and alt-click that, drag it out. This will create a duplicate. What you're going to do on your duplicate is go to the Gaussian blur, delete that, and then you can unlink these two so you don't get a double audio going. Delete the audio. Take this one, stack this one on top. So now it becomes clear, and then this will be your base gameplay clip that is not blurry. So you go ahead, take this, scale this down. I have a webcam on mine, so I usually drag mine so the webcam is out of frame, and that will be important because you can drag your webcam either above your gameplay to look a little bit better, or you can just not have one. Most of my TikToks usually don't have one, just depends on the footage that is going on. If it's more of a personality one, I will leave the webcam in there. But for the most part, if it's just like a cracked moment or like a bunch of kills or something, I won't put my webcam in there. So now I will take this, about 134, looks like it will do the trick. And then this is an optional step. Like I said, if you want to have your webcam, I'll show you how to do that real quick. What you're going to do is you're going to take Alt, drag this up, create another duplicate, drag your duplicate over to the side. So now your webcam is in the frame. You're going to take either your ellipse or your rectangular mask tool, drag that onto your webcam, click your position, drag that on up. And then if you'd like, I go ahead, hit shift, drag that up. That way it scales proportional. And now I have my webcam up there. So now you have three layers. You have your base layer, that is your blur. You have your middle layer, that is your main gameplay. And then your third layer is your webcam. So when you are doing effects such as fast forwarding or slow motion, you want to make sure that you select all three of those so that way your timing is never off and everything aligns correctly. To achieve an effect like the fast forward, I will do that for you real quick. So we'll go to right here, click all three, cut the clip, and then go to where we want this fast forward to end, which would be right about before the action starts again. Do this, cut the clip, and then you will take all three, make sure they're all selected. You will right click, go to your speed duration. I want this pretty fast just because it doesn't really have an effect on the clip. So I'll take this, turn it to about 900. And I'm going to take this, turn it to optical flow. For fast forward, it's not as important. For your slow motion optical flow, it's a much better time interpolation, as it provides a lot more of a smooth and natural slow motion feel than the time sampling or frame sampling. So you hit OK. Now that is nice and slow. I will take this, drag these back, so now your clips are all one. Little tip for you, what I like to do personally is take a directional blur, throw that on your middle clip, which is your main gameplay clip, and then I will turn my blur up to about between 15 and 20, And what that does, a little high. What that does is when you're doing your fast forward, it kind of gives it that feel like it's moving super fast, and it looks a little bit more natural to me personally. So let me show you that. So, you know, it looks like it goes forward. It shows you that the sequence is not as important as the rest that are in focus. Now, the next step for slowing the clips down is very similar to the fast forward. What I'll do is I will go to here. I will cut. For slow motion, you want to make sure you're using it in moderation. You don't want to make sure you don't have too much of it at one time, or else it slows down the entire kind of sequence of your clip. So what I'll do is I'll usually do about 1 to 2 seconds, make sure everything is selected again, cut that, drag these out of the way, do this, speed and duration. With 60 frames, you can get away with going down to about 40%. I like to stay at about 60%. I think it's a good number, and everything still looks pretty smooth. There's not really a lot of choppiness, and that helps keep it nice and clean. And then after I do this, I always immediately take it. I will go mark this into out right here, and then I will go to my sequence, render in out. I'll be able to view this in the timeline, and it will come out nice and smooth, because sometimes it has to render and if you just render it right away, always looks a lot better. Now we have created a clip with both fast forward and slow motion. Go ahead and play that through. Fast forward, and slows it down for you. Obviously the slow motion on that one's still a little bit fast. I did 60%. Like I said, you could probably go down to 40% if you're using 60 frames per second. I would not go too far below that, because then it starts to look, things start chopping into your slow motion, and, you know, frames start bending around a lot. So I try not to go too far below. You can get away with it depending on what the clip is. Now the next step, you can add in your music. I'm not going to go too far into the music step, just because a lot of people will use their music from TikTok, so you don't want to put all this effort into this and then end up finding a song on TikTok you'd rather just use instead. I'd say the most basic way to do music in your TikToks is to align your most interesting part of your clip either to a bass drop or a part where the music volume spikes. Now I'm going to show you the clip, what it looks like when done with fast forward, slow motion, and a couple other effects. I didn't want to go too far into those, as that's a little bit more advanced. As you begin to learn Premiere Pro, you'll start picking up on things. So let me go ahead and show you that real quick. So now let's go ahead and export these clips properly. What we'll do is we'll take the beginning, we'll mark that, mark the end. I hold shift, this will drag me to the end, hit mark out, file, export, media, and then your high source or your max source high bitrate, this should work just fine. What you'll want to do is make sure that your width and your height are 1080 by 1920, and your frame rate is whatever you'd set it to. Mine set it to 60. My bitrate, I usually like to keep around 30. I'd say it's usually a good number. Your 1920 by 1080 clips, a lot of the time you can get away with 10 to 20. I like to do 30 just because I know that will give me the max quality that I'm looking for in my video. And then I'll go ahead and export that. What we have is a professional looking TikTok, not super hard to make, a couple of easy steps to follow, and you can have your TikToks looking like this. You don't just have to slap your clips up there with nothing going on. You can look a lot better very simply with Premiere Pro. TikTok itself has a bunch of effects on there. I know they have the voiceover, and they have a couple different color corrections you can throw in there. Like I said, I wanted to keep this tutorial pretty simple for you to follow, just a basis of how to get your TikTok clips instead of pulling them straight from the game. You can do a couple simple effects, and now you have this professional looking clip. With TikTok becoming as popular as it is, it's not as easy to grow as it used to be. A little bit of production value can go a long way. Streamers like Dr. Disrespect, he obviously has an incredible production value with his streams, and with this, he has been able to see a very successful career because of it. By no means an expert in this, but all I'm here to do is help you in the world of content creation with a few easy tutorials on how to make your TikTok look a little bit more professional. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and drop me a thumbs up and any feedback down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Hope you have a fantastic day. Peace out.